Welcome, my dear brothers and sisters, to this table of love, where we as children of God, children of the Supreme, are invited to come and receive a blessing from the cosmic Christ and the divine feminine aspect of God, Miriam Magdalena. Let us be still and let us find within our heart that interior voice that does speak. It does speak. But we are guided by the love we share here to empower one another, to celebrate that gift of presence, that gift of vulnerability, that gift of a journey you and I are both on, the journey of a pilgrim seeking spiritual wholeness, spiritual wellness, and the healing touch of a loving God. I welcome you to this table, and to all who will watch this recording, you are more than welcome. So sit back and relax and allow the spirit of nature, the spirit of the goddess, the spirit of Gaia, the spirit of the Lord Buddha, Vishnu, Ganesh, Krishna, the spirit of Gandhi, Sri Chinmoy, Martin Luther King, Mother Teresa of Calcutta, Teresa of Avila and Lisieux, Francis and Clare of Assisi. Lead us to the cosmic Christ, our teacher, our brother, our friend, our mentor. Be still now. Be still.
Radhe
as ambassadors of peace in service to the source, the divine oneness, the mystical heart of a loving Father, Mother God. We light a candle for peace. We light a candle for justice, for equality, for integrity, for compassion, and for young girls and young women who are treated not as equals in the East. We pray for them. We pray for those young women and girls denied an education by the Taliban. But we pray more than anything that every child of God will sense the peace of your love and mine from this time of sharing. In the name of our beloved Father, Mother God Supreme, who creates all life, in the name of the Spirit, who is the fire of life, in the name of the cosmic Christ, who loves life, in the name of Gaia, who is the mother who nurtures the divine in all life, in the name of all faith traditions, for they too are the children of the same God, our brothers and sisters, and in the name of spiritual diversity, on behalf of all my brothers and sisters of the Teo community of Interfaith Franciscans, I welcome you. Be still now and come back to your heart. Your heart. And as we come to the heart, let us bless the heart. And the message from Archangel Metatron to me on Paddy's Day 2003. For one, I didn't really know a lot about Metatron, but now I do. And he spoke to a dear friend of mine who was channeled by Metatron to paint him for me with a message. And it was to Brother Sean Jude Bradley, to heal souls broken by man in ignorance and pain. I was startled, because my friend did not know my name in religion, which was Brother Jude. My nickname from my brother novices was Judas Iscariot, jokingly. So you and I are here to allow the cosmic Christ into your space, into your shadows, and take from you the masks that you and I have worn or wear today, masks of self-pretense, protection, that denies us sharing our vulnerability, our sensitivity with the beloved, our first love, the Christ. It takes a person of real courage to walk on the path of faith. Why do I say that? Because so many people buy into the emotionalism, and they're quite happy to love God if they're feeling okay. But the God I know and love is not in my emotional responses, but often when I'm in my most vulnerable, darkest hour, when I'm in pain, when I struggle, when I'm a bit volatile or bad-tempered, and I feel He's nowhere near. And then he reminds me, I am by your side. I'm guided this evening to read from this amazing manuscript, The Interior Castle. And on the back page it says, let your castle, your soul, become the sacred ground beneath your feet. Live the power of your soul. Listen to and follow the voice of your soul. You are not alone. No higher purpose in this life exists than to be called into a mystical relationship with the divine. And this manuscript is centuries old, and it was written by Teresa of Avila, who was made a doctor of the church. A wise woman, but a practical woman. And this is what she says about faith versus reason, your castle library. And it brings us to the seventh room, which we will go into in greater detail in 2014. She says, to have faith is a struggle, period. Even Jesus, lost faith momentarily while dying on the cross, crying out, Father, why have you abandoned me? Do those words resonate with you? Well, they do with me, because I hit rock bottom 16 years ago through mental illness, where I lost everything, even the shirt on my back. And as I was being taken in a prison van to be punished by the state for my manic behavior, I cried out, Lord, I have given you my life. Why have you abandoned me? But he didn't. My God led me to a place of safety to empower me face my greatest fear, myself. So I bless that time, for that was my breakthrough. Faith is unreasonable, and our rational minds are skilled at proving with facts that faith is foolish. In the face of a diagnosis of terminal cancer, for instance, how can one have faith in the healing power of prayer and grace, given the scientific statistics? But spontaneous remissions and remarkable recoveries do occur, and I've seen them. I've been at the bedside of dying patients who had a remarkable, miraculous experience. Oh yes. In your castle library, you keep a small notebook that contains beliefs that you very much want to animate with faith, but have not yet been able to do. You want to be like the mystics, like young Bernadette of Subaru, who were given divine visions or audible messages and followed their instructions without asking. But why? But why? We all want to believe more than what we do believe. We want to have faith in our guidance, and the mystics reassure us. As the Buddha taught, our life's journey, faith is nourishment, and virtuous deeds a shelter. What is that saying to your heart? What is the message of the Lord Buddha saying to you? On life's journey, faith is nourishment, and virtuous deeds a shelter. I want you now to be still and find your comfort zone. Find the peace where you are. And I would like you to do something for you as a beloved of God who was called by name. Oh yes, you were, or you wouldn't be here. You'd be watching your game box, texting someone on your iPhone, or snoring your little head off. The question is, who do you love? Do you love the sound of your own voice and the many excuses you make that deny you facing who you are? Do you go to great lengths making excuses rather than face them, own them, bless them, and release them to God? Or are you too clever for your own good by trying to manipulate your husband, your partner, your family, and even God, that you're okay and you have no need of spiritual direction? It takes a person of real courage to say how they're feeling before God. And the journey of faith is not as easy as people make out. It's not a Hollywood blockbuster. No. It's a journey of trust. And that journey of trust means you surrendering your heart, your mind, your fear, your disabilities, your illness, your problems, your situation, your unhappiness, your laziness, your manipulative skills at avoiding who you are. You have no need of a physician if you're well. So enjoy your life. But I'm not well. I have many issues I battle with each day. And some days I even battle with faith. Where is my God? And then I hear a little voice. I am in you. I am all around you. And then I have a smile, for I know I've not been abandoned. I know I'm meant to be where I am. Even wearing a frock, even living a simple life, and doing the little boring things as best I can. For they're not boring, they're a prayer. But what is faith? Faith is not man-made or man-given. It is a gift from the Supreme. It is a gift from the Creator. And it's not given to you if you don't want it. But if you want it, you've to get off your butt and you've to ask for it. But you and I both know that today so many people have been programmed into believing that society owes them. I've seen it in my nursing career, and it's shameful. I've seen it with people who are religious and over the top, and when a crisis hits them, they preach God like He's some sundae that you can buy in a cafe, loaded with ice cream and fresh fruit and fresh cream dripping over it. There's no depth to their faith. Faith is a gift, and given to you and me when we ask for it. But for it to mean something, we have to work on ourselves too. We have to take responsibility for our spiritual journey. And we have to ask God's help to face our demons and to stop pretending that all is well when we need God. Faith is a gift. It is a precious gift. And it's not based on feeling. It's based on trust. Especially when you're down, when you're troubled, when you're anxious and afraid, when you've had bad news. Faith kicks in. I believe, but help thou my unbelief. Let us relax now. Let us come back to our spiritual home. Let us feel and sense the peace of a loving God. Let us come to the Bedouin tent on the top of Mount Sinai, where Enoch gave the chosen people the Kabbalah, the tree of life, and blessed the Therapeutae who lived 8,000 years ago, who were monks, esoteric, and who worked for a living, but they lived in community, some solitary, some together, and they worshipped their God 3 times a day, at sunrise, at noon, and sunset. And the proceeds of their labors as therapists and making oils and potions and lotions, they gave it to the poor. Let us come to that site where they were given the Kabbalah and the tree of life, on the top of Mount Sinai. Let us see the Bedouin tent. It's before us. We can see the oil lamps flickering, and dusk is upon us. And we can see the magnificent sunset over the mountainous plains of Egypt. And we are at peace in our heart, for we are coming home to our brothers and sisters who know us, who love us, who trust us. And as we enter the tent, we are welcomed by Gaia, by Isis, by Magdalena and Mother Mary and Kuan Yin. And each of them remove our dusty clothing, our dusty sandals. They sit us down, and they sprinkle our feet with cool spring water, and they dry them, and then they hug us and welcome us. And then we are taken into the special room wherein is the cosmic Christ, who's waiting for us. In fact, he's been waiting a very long time for some of us For He knows we've played games. We've lived a life of worry and fear. We've denied ourselves healing by pretending we're okay, or we may have wallowed in our suffering, drawing attention to ourselves instead of releasing it to God and blessing all that happens to us. And suddenly we're given a candle, a special candle. It has our name on it. And we are taken by Magdalena and Mother Mary to meet the Christ. And there He stands before us. His eyes have a piercing light of indigo rays that are scanning us, healing us, empowering us to be still, to feel safe, to feel loved. He calls us by our name. Come, my child, my beautiful child. You have suffered needlessly. Why have you not trusted me? Why have you not brought your issues to me, and together we could have resolved them? Let us learn our first lesson of faith. Trust your heart, for I am there in that inner voice, and I wish you well. I do not wish you to suffer so. He takes the candle from your hand, He blesses it, and He brings a candle of His own, and He joins it with yours. And He takes your hand, and He places His hand over yours, holding the candle, the flame of light, and He asks you to be the light, to be the light of the world, to allow people to see God's magnificence in your life. He asks you to trust Him. He asks you to jettison all fear, self-hate, low self-esteem. He asks you to jettison procrastination and always focusing on yourself instead of celebrating your life and blessing everything that happens to you, be it positive or negative, and see it as a prayer given to God from a generous heart. And He tells you this: you were called by name, and you agreed to come here to learn your lesson so that you can ascend and be at the right-hand side of our Father, Mother God. And He says, sadly, many don't listen and spend their life whinging, moaning, complaining, arguing. He said, I anoint you now to go from here and to be a light shining in the darkness for all God's children, your brother and sisters. I want you to stand with them and walk alongside them. And I want you to become a vortex of light, healing light. And now I place my hands on your heart chakra, and I call on the Father, Mother God, and I ask them to release you